welcome back to another edition of the webcast preview here. Pleased to be starting the show here with Christopher Wade. You're the first one to show up to the link, Chris. You get to go up to bat first and bat first off the bat here. By the way, for the Dodger fans last night, I did stay away all the way up until 1 a.m. for that game last night. That's why I thought of the baseball reference there. But you're first up to bat, Chris Wade. Saturday night, we do have a 10-race program. We do have the Sgt Pepper Feature in race number 10. But I feel like there's other opportunities to kind of look at some horses there earlier in the card.
Yeah, there is. It's got a couple good horses, like a horse in the 7th race and like one in the 9th race, at LTO Angel. He's got a big look. Only 3rd lifetime start. He got lots of room to improve with only 3 lifetime starts.
Yeah, don't you find it very interesting here? I'll bring up the past performance for LTO Angel for Felix Gonzalez. This horse qualified with the fastest time for the recently raced Los Alamitos Claiming Futurity. But the connection said, you know what? We don't want to see him claim, Chris. So they took him out of the final, and they land in a spot like this.
Yeah. It was a nice size purse. It's a great program. And there was 35 claims in. That was a very, very crowded claim box after the race. And this horse was the fastest qualifier and only a 2nd lifetime start. Horse was a B worker prior to a trouble debut. And then that 2nd lifetime start, I had him listed as a long shot W, which means a long shot horse to watch. And he broke well. He skied a little bit midway. Would finish strongly under hold. Easily the fastest qualifier. And I talked to Felix about it, and he said he learned something from Blaine Schwannevelt. He said, when you have a good horse, there's money there's money down the road. No sense in rushing a horse, because this horse would have been multiple claims in for him off that trial race. And they want to go on the P. Breeders' Futurity on September 9th, but he's coming back in here on Saturday evening, coming back quickly, but he did it so very easily in that Claiming Snakes trial from post number 3 last time.
Gate 3.
He broke out. He brushed a little bit away from the gate, showed some big speeds under a hand shove midway. And then he finished like an absolute freight train with a lot of run left to give under a hold. And was the fastest qualifier easily, and would have been a heavy favorite in the final. But Felix didn't want to take a chance on losing, which he definitely would have. So they're bringing him back on this evening on Saturday night in a nice allowance race. He got one horse to really worry about on the outside, but this horse is a big chance. 3rd lifetime start. Yeah,
that was a nice improved effort there. And this horse had worked previously very well prior to his start. You can see the bullet workouts back on May 1st. 12:20 in June 15 and 12:20. So that first time out didn't really tell the whole story. We kind of saw the big performance and the breakout performance last time out there. And Angel, he's drawn in gate 2, but based on how he won there impressively, he does looks like one of the top contenders there along with Nevada Charles. So Tío Angel for you in race number 9. I know Mike Wrona kind of liked the horse that you like, so you guys went a little bit of different ways, but Tío Angel does look like the horse there to watch now, given that, like you mentioned, you talked to Felix Gonzalez, so that's a pretty good model to learn from a guy like Blaine Schwannevelt, one of the all-time greats. There might be always money down the road, so pretty good insight there with Felix Gonzalez. What's the morning line on Tío Angel? Do you know?
LTO Angels 2-1.
Oh, 2-1. So I think second choice you'll probably get somewhere close to that at post time, because I expect the outside runner Nevada Charles to take plenty of betting support. All right, Chris, anything else you have in the Nightlines program? Any other tracks you're going to tackle in addition to Los Al?
No, Albuquerque Downs is running their program early on Saturday, so nothing for us as far as Nightline program shipping in for us this weekend.
Well, let's see if Tío Angel can get back with a big performance there on Saturday night, part of the late pick 4 and part of the late double. Chris, thanks for your work. Looking forward to your selections there throughout the evening in the Los Alamitos live video there through the simulcast signal. Talk to you later.
The Los Alamitos Equine Sale, showcasing the finest quarter horse racing lines in the sport. Its graduates include many great champions, $1 million futurity winners, and recent major graded stakes winners. Find your next champion and major stakes winner at the Los Alamitos Equine Sale October 2nd and 3rd. For more, visit LosAlamitoSequineSale.com.
We are now joined by track announcer Mike Wrona. We are approaching there the Los Alamitos Equine Sale. Go to LosAlamitoSequineSale.com for the full catalog already available. That is coming up in early October. Michael, looking forward to this weekend. 10 races here on Saturday, which features the Sgt Pepper Feature in race number 10. But what race and what horse do you want to take a look at for this week?
Hi, Jose. I'm interested in a maiden race, the 7th, and a fractional second choice on Ed Burgart's morning line, Selena Blue, number 4. The favourite comes out of gate 6 at 9-5, Cartel Built, but Selena Blue is a close 2-1 second elect and has the combination of Valentin Zamudio and Ruben Lozano in his corner, and I think there's some reason to think that third time might be the charm, because the horse has had some problems in each of these 2 starts to date, particularly on debut from gate 5 in a straight maiden race on the 17th of July. The horse was badly checked at the start, and I thought made a decent recovery.
Yeah, this is going to be, I'll show first August 1st. So we'll work backwards.
Sorry, we'll go backwards.
No worries.
All right.
No worries. We'll go backwards here since I haven't loaded up. This is August 1st. She was in gate 4 in the field of 7.
Right. And this was a trial to the claiming futurity. This race was won by My Favourite Kind, who ended up finishing 3rd in the final and attracted no fewer than 13 claims. So this was decent company. The horse ended up 5th in those gold colours. But I thought it was a reasonable effort against that opposition. And it was an improvement on the debut, which was pretty much a debacle from the moment the gate opened.
Yeah, we're going to go July 7th. Yeah.
17th of July was gate number 5. This race Saturday night will be the first time that Selena Blue has been just in a regular maiden claiming race. Have a look at the trouble early from gate number 5 on debut.
Yeah, loses all path there at the start, gets bumped. The race is pretty much over up to this point, but she keeps trying.
Well, the horse came from 7th, second last, approaching the 8th pole, to finish 4th. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was quite a reasonable recovery after that terrible start. And so maybe there's improvement to come here. First crack at a maiden claimer. The favourite Cartel Built did very well last time out to finish so close after a bad stumble leaving the gate. But I can't get away from the fact that Cartel Built has now had 3 tries at the maiden claiming level, 5 starts overall, and still hasn't quite been able to get the job done. A couple of the preceding defeats at maiden claiming level for Cartel Built had been in moderate time. So I don't think it's an overly strong field, and I prefer the more lightly raced of the pair at fractionally better odds. So let's try Selena Blue from gate number 4 for the potent Zamudio-Lozano combination in the 7th on Saturday.
I like that. All right, so Selena Blue in gate number 4, lightly raced, only 3rd career start. Looks like a horse on the improve based on those troubled trips there. That will be going as race number 7, the start of the Lake Big Bull. Michael, thank you so much for that selection. Looking forward to the races this weekend. And I did see your tweet about the tacos. Nice tacos, by the way. By the way, share where those tacos from. Where they were from.
That was from a place called Cajun Islands in Westminster. It was a Cajun influence on tacos. I thought it might have attracted your attention.
It did.
Some fried oyster tacos and some snow crab and mussels, all sorts of exotic seafood, bayou shrimp, and there you go.
There it is. Yeah. Look, by the magic of technology, there it is.
Yeah.
Which were your favorite? Crawfish, lobster, or oyster?
I've got the crawfish and the oyster in a photo finish, and they're wide apart on the track, mate. Hard to line them up. They're out of stride.
Well, good recommendation there. Looking, so I gotta find that place. I gotta go and make it a visit. But I enjoy your taco tweet as well.
Okay.
All right. See you out there at the track this weekend. Have a good day.
Looking forward to it. Good luck, everyone.
Now at Los Alamitos, it's weekends full of thrilling action.
Racing!
With live quarter horse and thoroughbred racing every Saturday and Sunday nights. More races on our weekend night, plus strong fields in our early and late pick fours. And we're still adding $10,000 into our pick six pool when there's not a carryover going into the Sunday card. It's a great deal in our traditional pick six. Don't miss a second of the thrilling action at Los Alamitos.
Racing!
Every Saturday and Sunday nights.
Welcome back to the weekend preview show here. Jose Contreras alongside Professor G, Orlando Gutierrez. Orlando, some very good sun bites this week from the barn. By the way, nice job. Last week, I think every single sound bite that you got from the barn, you either ran first or second, including some very nice win prices as well. So well done, Orlando.
Absolutely. They delivered. The horsemen delivered for us. Ricardo Guillen had an exacta. Matt Fales had a double with some of the horses that he mentioned. It was a very productive day out there getting some sound bites. So we're happy to have brought them to you.
So the pressure is on. So I looked at the little recap. We have upcoming interviews with Scott Willoughby, Paul Jones, Elena Andrade, Felix Gonzalez. Am I missing anyone else?
No, those are the interviews that we did this morning.
Ooh, so we'll catch up with those connections and much more. But we got a special guest this weekend. By the way, let me set up the card. Saturday night featured event is going to be in race number 10. Race number 10, you know the name, Orlando. That is going to be a distance of 350 yards, the Sgt Pepper Feature. And while we're talking about that, let me set up here this little nice... So there it is, the Sgt Pepper Feature, a little bit of a preview there. Race number 10 on Saturday night, Orlando, 350 yards. Who were you able to get on to join us for this show?
Well, none other than the man who saddled Sgt Pepper Feature to so many great stakes victories, including a win in the Champion of Champions. I'm talking, of course, about trainer Mike Robbins, who will be a big part of our weekend here as well. Not only are we running the Sgt Pepper Feature handicap on Saturday, but on Sunday he also has a horse running in the Go Man Go handicap, Mr. Ricks. So we're happy to be joined by trainer Mike Robbins. How are you, Mike?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. It looks like you're joining us from a very fancy steakhouse with those leather couches and the mood lighting.
It's a very fancy house.
Well, nice to have you on board here tonight. We showed a little bit of montage of the Sgt Pepper Feature. You have Mr. Ricks going in Sunday night's Go Man Go. How's he doing?
He's doing really well. He had a good work the other day, qualifying, went 18 flat, and it looked good. I would have liked to have had an out in him, but we weren't able to get one. We entered him several times, and the races didn't go, but he's doing really well.
And towards the end of the year last year, he was just the peak of his game. He won a stakes race here at Los Alamitos. I think it was one of the second to last weekends of the meet here at Los Al, and he's always been a horse that I know has been very highly regarded by yourself and his owners as well, right? Reliance Ranches.
Yes, we've always liked him. It took him a while. He's just a big strapping horse, and it took him a while to mature and come around. And I'm looking for a good fall and winter with him this year.
Fantastic. Well, one of the reasons why we wanted to chat with you is, of course, Sgt Pepper Feature, one of the great names in the history of quarter horse racing during an era which was just tremendous for the sport and for Los Alamitos. Sgt Pepper Feature, part of one of the greatest rivalries in the sport. Of course, I'm talking about Denim and Diamonds against Sgt Pepper Feature. Can you take us back to that time and when you first came with this horse? Because you had to do a lot of work with him just to get him to reach that elite level, right?
Yeah, he was real. He was just an immature baby. He wasn't a very big horse. Always had a lot of depth to him, but he wasn't very big, and it just took him a long time to mature and come around. And unfortunately, he didn't have any choice because he was the only horse I brought out here for the winter meet that year. It was just me and him. So, and he was still a maiden. So we had started him 6 times, I believe, at Bay Meadows and then at Los Alamitos, and he'd made 50,000 and was still a maiden. And the first time there wasn't a maiden race for him, so I stuck him in with winners. I was too stupid to know any different. And he beat them easy and then come back, and he won 11 in a row after that. Most of it was trials and stakes. He won the Golden State Futurity, the Golden State Derby, and it was just one after another for him.
And we see a photo there on the screen of you, a young Mike Robbins there with, of course, the great Sgt Pepper Feature, and jockey John Krager, who rode him to that victory in the Champion of Champions. How did that partnership come about with John hooking up with Sgt Pepper Feature in your barn?
Well, I had there have been several people riding. Clinton Clary started out with me and Kenny had some problems, and I ended up I don't think Cardozo. Well, I know Cardozo rode him for me one time. He won the race, and Cardozo come back and said, "Don't put me on him anymore. He doesn't like me." And so I didn't. And Bobby Adair rode him, and then John came available, and he rode him throughout the rest of his career. They all did a good job, but John did an excellent job with him.
Was there anything specific about John that made him maybe have that special connection with Sgt Pepper Feature? And correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember covering John Krager riding, he was just, a quiet, just a gentle hand, extremely good with mares and fillies. What was it about him that kind of made that special connection with Sgt Pepper?
Well, he didn't like for you to whip him. He could feel him uncock a stick, and he was going somewhere, and right or left, whichever way you hit him. And John just sat right up on top of him and let him run and never got in his way. And it was pretty testy every now and then. I was kind of wanting him to do a little something to him, but he always got him there.
Great. What about those great races against Denim and Diamonds? The first one, when Denim and Diamonds wins the Champion of Champions, and that's a super famous call because it was the first Champion of Champions called by the great Ed Burgard, and you were right there with Denim and Diamonds. Yes,
that was quite a race. That was what a great mare she was. I mean, it was just the rivalry they had was second to none, and they were always really close. But I was sure glad to finally beat her. I was getting tired of her beating me by a nose and and a head. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
What are your memories when you do win the Champion of Champions that night against just a terrific field? I mean, it wasn't just Denim and Diamonds. I believe High Easter Jet may have been in that race. Just an Old Love. If I remember reading that, it was at the time it was the richest field ever of the Champion of Champions put together in that race that Sgt Pepper Feature won.
Yes, I believe and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But in the 8, 9, and 10 hole, it was Denim and Diamonds, Sgt Pepper Feature, and High Easter Jet. They were all three out there together. And back in those days, it was just like everybody was running. Everybody stayed in their lane, and it was just a really, really good race. And little did we know that my start time was going to throw the kind of race he was throwing down in the 1 hole. And we just got there right at the wire. And but that's the way Pepper ran. He was a horse that knew where he was all the time. I firmly believe that because I can go back and look at his all of his races. And at 400 yards, he made the move at 350. If he was going a quarter of a mile, he made his move at about 400 yards and went to running by him. And he was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at some of the winning streaks he put on, specifically that first one. He won the Golden State Futurity, the Forest City Handicap at Bay Meadows, the Golden State Derby at Bay Meadows. And then he came back to the Los Alamitos Derby, the Laddie Handicap, the Dash for Cash Derby. And in addition to those stakes, you have trials in between those races. So that was quite a run he put up that season.
Oh, absolutely. He won 11 in a row. And like I said, you just read them off. And it was pretty phenomenal to keep him. He was pretty easy to keep going, though. He was an easy horse to train. And Kelly had his little wind-up toy. She sat down in front of him, and he'd sit there and watch him jump around, and he loved that. So, and she was a big part of it. She was his groom the whole time and really took good care of him, and they had a special relationship.
Of course, Kelly Long went on to train a lot of great horses here at Los Alamitos in her own right. And Sgt Pepper Feature went on to become an incredible ambassador of quarter horse racing when he went to the to the Kentucky Horses Hall of Fame, and he was the quarter horse at the time representing the breed.
Yes, he was at the Kentucky Horse Park, and we went up there as much as we could and to see him. And he and John Henry, and there was quite a few really, all the top old geldings were there.
Yeah, you can see right here the page there, still at the Kentucky Horse Park, Sgt Pepper Feature. He arrived there in 1988 until his passing in 2003. So he was the quarter horse ambassador for the breed there for many, many years at the Kentucky Horse Park.
Yes, they did. Those people up there loved him, and he had a big following.
And Mike, you not only did you win one Champion of Champions with a terrific horse like Sgt Pepper Feature, then you go on and win two more, including one with Cardoza and Dash's Dream. He got along with that horse just fine, right?
Oh, God, what a race mare she was, yeah. Well, she came along. Pepper won 11 in a row. She came along and won 12 in a row. And the Champion of Champions was always the pinnacle for me. That was my race to win. A lot of people have the All-American Futurity for their priority or such races as that, but the Champion of Champions was always mine, and to win it 3 times was really cool.
Very cool. So we can't wait to see you on Sunday, the Go Man Go Handicap, Mr. Ricks against a terrific field of older horses here at Los Alamitos. The best of the best still here at Los Al in the H division, and we were so happy that you were able to join us. Really happy that you had the time for us. Thank you so much, Mike.
Yep, thank you guys. Enjoyed it.
Thanks, Mike. Have a good evening. See you out this weekend, and hopefully another win picture is in your barn.
We'll run here Saturday and be there Sunday.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
Well, another great name in the sport of quarter horse racing here at Los Alamitos. We've just been so fortunate to see the best of the best in the history of this sport. Sgt Pepper Feature, Denim and Diamonds, always together, those two names. When you talk about one, you have to talk about the other one. And they each just had fantastic career on their own right.
Yeah, and it's very cool to hear Mike Robbins say that when people really had races like the All-American as their top of the top, he really wanted the Champion of Champions. That was the race for him. So it meant a lot to him to get that accomplishment. And he's still training horses at the top of the game still to this day. So very cool to catch up there with Mike Robbins. All right, Orlando, why don't we take a break? When we come back, we'll talk about this card here on Saturday night, featuring the Sgt Pepper Feature, race number 10. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
The Los Alamitos Equine Sale, showcasing the finest quarter horse racing lines in the sport. Its graduates include many great champions, $1 million futurity winners, and recent major graded stakes winners. Find your next champion and major stakes winner at the Los Alamitos Equine Sale, October 2nd and 3rd. For more, visit LosAlamitoSEquineSale.com.
It's almost that time. Los Alamitos Equine Sale right around the corner there. We're almost into September, and the sale is in early October, Orlando. Just a few weeks there for the Los Al Equine Sale. For a lot of people that maybe don't know where the sale is held at, can you recap where it's held at? It's just a stone throws away there from the racetrack.
Yeah, it's about what would you say, about 300 yards?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Just about.
Yeah.
And it's located. What used to be Cypress Golf Course is now the pavilion of the Los Alamitos Equine Sale. The Los Alamitos Racetrack Championship of America division is housed at what used to be the underground of the clubhouse there. Mm-hmm. And that actually turns into the sales office during that weekend. And you start seeing the nice grass starting to come up, the ring, the sales ring. You can see the amount of dirt there starting to be manicured. And pretty soon we'll see that beautiful tent out there in the middle of that area. And we'll see the barns being put together, and it all comes together. It's just around the corner, Jose, and we're going to have a terrific catalog of horses once again. In fact, the catalog was available online, and it'll be the printed edition will also be available. And we look forward to seeing a lot of good friends during that weekend here, Los Alamitos Equine Sale, October 2nd and 3rd. We'll see what big names we can add to that commercial in the years to come, because there's always some big names being featured. In fact, when I was talking to Scott Willoughby earlier today, he was super excited. He thinks he's got one of the strongest groups of yearlings coming up from Rolling A Ranch feature at the sale. Favorite Cartel, babies, Fly Through the Fire babies. You're going to see some nice horses here at Los Al pretty soon with the sale.
Well, Fly to the Fire already stamped himself as a good early sire there this season. We got to see some of his babies, so looking forward to what they do at the sale at this upcoming Los Alamitos Equine sale. Orlando, why don't we work our way backwards and then we'll build up all the way to the feature there. We'll start with a little bit of interviews that you were able to catch up there early in the morning. So we'll kick off with race number 5 because I believe that is where you have our first soundbite from the barn.
Well, we have Elena Andrade too in race number 3. We can't forget about that.
That is correct. That is correct.
If we're hoping to always find a little bit of a price when we go out there and do some interviews. So how about Elena Andrade? She's got this horse Chamarel, 10-1, Jose, in race number 3, coming off of a nice victory, an improved performance, second time out for this horse.
Well, you found us a price with her sister, Angie Aquino, about 2 weeks ago with Edgar Pierre's picking up the round. Remember that one?
That's right, Mystic Gray.
Yes. So let's catch up with Elena Andrade there in the barn. She's got Chamarel in race number 3.
We're here with trainer Elena Andrade. You have a nice runner, Chamarel, coming off of a nice victory and a big improved performance following his racing debut. Tell us about this runner.
Yeah, it was just his first start. I liked what I saw, even though he was towards the back, because he really came closing on the end, which is a good sign for his first start. So when we popped him right back, he had some experience now. He knew what he was supposed to do, and it kind of clicked. And now, with that win under him, he's like a new horse. I'm kind of excited for this next start. If he can run the same, he got an inside post, which he showed a little bit of speed. So I'm thinking he can maybe get it done again.
And what he's done both times is he started a little bit slow, but he does have that kick.
Yeah, he does. But I think he's just starting. He's only had 2 starts, but I think he's starting to figure it out now, because now even in the mornings, the horses will come, working or galloping by him, and he's really getting racy. So that's a really good sign that he doesn't give up, and he chases what's in front of him. So.
The nice thing is that Cesar Franco remains on him, so the jockey knows the horse.
Yeah, he knows him very well. So I think we have a good shot tonight.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
There was Elena Andrade at the barn talking about Chamarel. Orlando, interesting that she mentioned that first time out, this horse was more about just learning what he was supposed to do, because his workouts have been pretty solo workouts. So he got the experience of the race day first time out, and then really stepped forward last time out and won at a nice price of 9-1 that night.
You got to remember, this horse is a 4-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Has only started twice, so definitely a slow developing horse. But they have the right trainer, Elena Andrade. She takes her time with her horses, and if you need a horse that needs some time, that needs some TLC, Elena is definitely one of the top trainers to go after and pair up with that horse. So at 10-1, Cesar Franco sticks with this mount. He learned a lot first time out, according to Elena, then gets him in the right spot, wins that race back on August 7th, and we'll see how he comes this time around against a pretty solid group. Hola Mazuma, the number 1 horse, 5-1 is another horse that I like. Van Belvoir. I think this is the race that we might be able to find a price. The big favorite is the outside horse, Nazari, at 8-5, Edgar Pierre's, Jose Flores. But I think this is a race that we might maybe see a surprise. W. Whitehouse, 8-1, horse coming off of a victory. I think this is a race that maybe we can get a little bit of a price to spice up the early pick 4. What do you think?
Even Deputy Gary, who looked impressive, winning by 5 lengths 2 starts ago, Orlando. He went to Del Mar, too tough of a field. His win in 53.69, that time fits well here. And I think having that bad race at Del Mar is going to bump up his price. He's not going to take as much money as if he was coming in fresh off of that win. So watch out for Deputy Gary. And then Pedro Perez looked like a runner that could have won easier than what it looks on paper. The rider was doing a couple of confident lookbacks there during that race, and he won under a pretty easy hand right in the stretch. So interesting race there in race number 3. That begins rolling pick 3, and it's also the third leg of that early pick 4. But Elena Andrade, with Chamarel.
Yeah, I think this is a race that you try to find a horse that you like and try to beat the favorite in this.
I'm going to try to beat Razare there in race number 3. Right, moving down the list there. Race number 4 is going to be another competitor race. We didn't have any sound bites from this race, but I do have an interesting long shot that I like in this spot, Orlando. So I'm I'm going to bring up the replay, and it is the 3-horse Restless Rambler. He comes out of that same common event as a few of these runners. He's going to be in gate 5 in this field of 6. Restless Rambler. Baby Gronk is in this race as well, but focus in gate 5. He gets out to a fairly clean start there, but he's involved in a pace duel here, 4 wide, 3 wide right now, and then becomes 4 wide, and he just never able to save ground. So he's kind of being used along to hopefully be able to cross over, but he's never able to do so, and he gets pushed wide. He's pressing, he's getting tired, but I thought it was a better than looked effort given all the ground he lost with the wide trip. He didn't completely come to a stop. I think he was just a little bit flattened out at that point, but I think the ground loss was key. If you go back to his effort from 2 starts ago when he finished third by a close head, that's a better indication of what he can do here. He's still trying here in deep stretch, but at that point, too much ground loss kind of was a tell of the race at that point. So watch for a little bit of a price. I think the 3 Restless Rambler, to me, is interesting there in race number 4.
Yeah, you see the way the race went. This is a horse that wanted to be first or second, and he ended up being first or second, but I'm on 5 horses there.
Yes.
So they were all trying to be first or second, so kind of a tough trip. Had to work really hard, and that 5th place finish doesn't flatter, the type of work that he did. He worked really hard.
Yeah, so I like him at a price, and that's going to be a very competitive race there, given that a lot of these horses are coming into nice form. You got Sassy Dresser, who cut back in distance was no problem. That was an impressive win, even though it was only a neck. I thought it was a very game win. And then Baby Gronk out of that same race as Nia Bay and Restless Ramblers. But I like the price on Restless Rambler. I think he's going to be an interesting price there in that race number 4. Orlando, who else were you able to catch up in the morning?
Well, we went ahead and found in race later on in the card. We had to go to race number 8. Race number 8, trainer Felix Gonzalez has a couple of runners going on Saturday's card. Leaving Town is one of them. First-time starter, Fly Through the Fire out of the mare Departing, who has produced Grade 1 winners here at Los Alamitos, including Snitcher, who ran in the Champion of Champions. $14,000 Felix paid. And he also, Felix has 2 really nice horses running tonight. El Tio Angel, who did not run back in the Claiming Futurity. He's in race number 9 in a nice allowance race. So Felix gave us some info here on those 2 babies that will be running on Saturday. And we're here with trainer Felix Gonzalez and El Tio Angel, a horse that was in the news here at Los Alamitos quite a bit last week because you decided not to run him in the Claiming Futurity, even though he was the fastest qualifier. Can you tell us what the decision came about? How did that come about?
Well, I decided right away, as soon as I see the trial, I decided because he wasn't the breeders, and I don't want to lose him before I try different, because he wasn't the breeders, and was one of the reasons.
Yeah, you have him in the trial, so the Breeders' Futurity, so you know that you can run him in that race, and hopefully he does good things there, right?
That's what we hope. That's where we're coming from.
And the horse is ready to run because you're going this Saturday. You're entering him in an allowance race. How is the horse doing, and how did that decision come to bring him back a week later?
Well, I tell him he's just doing good, sound, healthy, and I figured out, a month, he needed big work. I better give him another race, and I think he'll be okay,
You were either gonna work him or run him, so
either way.
Continue to build his resume. He's been a nice surprise here, right?
Yes, that's what we needed. We needed something like that, this kind of horse.
Tell me a little bit about the horse Leaving Town.
Leaving Town, I have an early, he just got a little bit tibia, and so I took him out and I brought him back, but always I like it. I breathed him a couple times, a little short, and he proven to me even one of the best 2-year-olds I haven't over here.
I actually saw him work on a Saturday, and you were really happy because you're like, hey, at least I win in the morning, right? I remember you saying that.
Oh yeah, you was there. I remember. I figured out he got some talents, and just keeping one. He's in the breeders too, so I'm gonna give you one race, and then we go from there. Everything okay? see everything will come in okay, and I hope so.
Best of luck, Felix.
There was Felix in the morning, Orlando. So he started off first talking and showing off El Tío Angel. Yeah. We talked about the interesting dilemma there heading into into that final last week, where it was the fastest qualifier. You're going to be the favorite for what the purse was $55K, so about 30,000, 25 to 30,000 was the lion's share purse. And he said that immediately after the trial, he says, "I'm not going to run him back." So even though he knew he was the fastest qualifier, he was like, "You know what? I'm not going to lose this horse. I'm going to keep him."
Yeah, he has close ties to the stallion as well, Boss Man Blue. Mm-hmm. But one thing to remember about El Tío Angel that I don't think we really talked about much last week is that he's a colt. So Felix tends to have a little stallion here and there. He had a really nice one by the name of Two Corona Special that he stood for a long time. He's connected with Boss Man Blue, and now he sees El Tío Angel as maybe a horse that if he continues to do well, could be a horse that could be developed as a stallion, at least for Felix, to have some fun with, and definitely at that level, then he becomes a little bit worth more than $40,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's eligible for the PCQHRA, so that's one target. Yes, he's in those, so he's targeting those, and also like you mentioned, he's a colt, so there might be some stallion possibility if he keeps developing there. So Felix Gonzalez playing a little bit of poker and pulling his horse out of the finals there, saying, no, I don't want to lose him just yet. And then he ended up the interview talking about leaving town. Another runner from the Los Alamitos Equine Sale paid $14,000 for owner Ruben Jimenez last year. Very improved workouts back on July 31st, and most recently on August 14th. That was a sharp workout, Orlando.
Very nice, and very nice workout. The workmate in that work went 12-1, so they were dueling well. Both horses got a lot out of that work, and leaving town with a very nice performance. Probably built his heart up a little bit, and we'll see. If I remember correctly, the horse did work from the inside post as well in that drill. Now comes back in his drawn post number 1 as well. And I remember Felix, Adan Farias was kind of standing next to Felix right that morning when the horse worked. And Adan goes, "Your inside horse won." And Felix goes, he was so happy. He's like, "I got him in the morning. I got me a winner, at least in the morning." And that's where it all starts, Jose. It has to start with some excitement in these morning workouts. Those kind of things that give you hope in this great game and continues, just continues to keep you going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. By the magic of technology, Orlando, I believe this is the workout, August 14th. He was on the inside of this two-team set. Leaving town was. He's going to break inwards, but gets out well, floats out just a little bit here. And then once the rider taps it a few times, he really takes the cue and kicks away. It's going to be a very sharp drill there. Good clocking, and he was finishing with good interest there.
Yeah, and you got to remember the bloodlines are there. The Snitcher, half brother to this horse, won at 400 yards, ran at 440, and we can see this horse the way he separated in those last 50, maybe 100 yards in this work. You consider this horse can keep going and do some good things at 300, 350 here at Losa.
Yeah, that's going to be leaving town on Saturday, race number 8 in inside post. Inside post can be tricky for a frontside starter, but he worked on the inside of our workmate there, so that might be a positive. And this field of 6, and you have a couple of experienced runners, including Burning Dream, who ran very well from that inside post first time out for Ed Allred and Cesar de Alba. He looks like the horse to beat with any kind of improvement there. And on the up, who despite some trouble also finished a nice second last time out. But Felix Gonzalez leaving town. He likes what he did in the mornings. Let's see if he can show up there in the evenings and alongside El Tío Angel following in race number 9. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll touch on tonight's featured event, the Sgt Pepper Feature in race number 10. Back to the program here, Orlando. Sgt Pepper Feature. We're able to talk, catch up with Mr. Mike Robbins. Mike Robbins there trained the Sgt Pepper Feature. Race number 10, 350 yards, a purse of $25,000. And I believe you had an opportunity to catch up with someone else that has a contender in this race.
Yeah, trainer Scott Willoughby will saddle number 2, Chance It Now. It's a filly facing some pretty tough runners here, including a colt that's coming in from Redoso Downs. That's the number 3 horse, Famous Cartel Jess. A couple of stakes winners in number 4, Other World, and number 5, Jets Wings One. Another filly on the inside got a Corona Jess. And running out the field, a gelding by the name of Catella Avenue at 6-1, the number 6 horse, coming off a 3rd place finish in the gents list. So a very solid group of runners here in the Sgt Pepper Feature Handicap. Number 2, Chance It Now, looking for an improved effort. And Scott Willoughby gave us an opportunity to enjoy Chance It Now and get a look at her in the morning. And here's what he had to say about this nice filly. And we're here with trainer Scott Willoughby on the eve of the Go Man Go Handicap, Scott. And you have just a tremendous group of older horses this year. Circle City has been the big star so far, winning the Vessel's Maturity, coming back and winning the Spencer Childers. So he's going to take a little bit of a break. He's not in the Go Man Go. You're going to go with Nomadic and Chocolatito. Not a bad way to go, right, Scott?
No, we decided to go ahead and give him just a little time off since he ran hard here the last few months, and give these 2 horses a shot to win this race, and see if one of them could get in the provisional berth into the
Champion of Champions. Yeah. And Nomadic coming back first start of the year in the Spencer Childers ran a heck of a race.
Yes, both my horses ran well. Chocolatito unfortunately didn't get away from the gate very well, and Nomadic come running on the end. Both of them came running very, very well, but I'm happy with both horses, and either one of them can win this race.
Have you decided who will ride Nomadic?
Yeah, we'll keep it the same way we had it in the last race, and Victor will ride Chocolatito, Henry will ride Nomadic.
Tell me about Chocolatito, a horse that was a superstar last year, top age horse here in California after winning the Vessel's Maturity, the Los Al Championship. How is he doing? How is he coming back? He's had 2 solid races.
He's coming back great. He's ready to run. We just need, he's set up for this race really well, and I think he'll just keep getting better through the year.
And Scott, if you don't mind asking you about the Sgt Pepper Feature race, Chance It Now in that race, of course, that's been a very solid performer this year.
Yeah, she had a terrible start last time. She got squeezed back at the gate, just a step slow away and then squeezed back, so she didn't have any chance to run. But she's a filly going against the boys, and I think she'll be very tough, but it is a very tough race. Just like the other races that weekend, all our good races are very tough this weekend. Some great horses running this weekend.
Sgt Pepper Feature on Saturday, the Go Man Go on Sunday. It should be a great race, and you're right in the middle of it, just how you like it.
Thank you.
That was Scott Willoughby in the barn. He talked about, first of all, his chances there of the older division that he has going into Sunday's Go Man Go Handicap Orlando. And then we got a glimpse of Chance It Now in the barn, that beautiful gray. You know, I've always been a soft spot for the grace. I've never seen the gray I didn't like, Orlando. So Chance It Now, I do like her late kick, and she's a great stakes winner at 350 yards. She won the La Pacifica with the big late kick. She did it from the outside post. Tonight she's drawn in gate 2, but I think she has the ability to win a race like this based on her previous late kick that she has proven.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough task for her, though, because Other World has looked really good. All three of his past wins with New Barn now, Valentin Zamudio, and number 5, Jet Wings One with trainer Montia Rosa and owner breeder Dan Moon has just been super solid, has finished first or second every time out here at Los Alamitos, ran second to an older horse by the name of Black Friday in the Independence Day Handicap, won the Derby Challenge earlier this year and ran second in the Kindergarten Futurity last year. So a very solid runner, Jet Wings One. If all the horses run perfect, it's going to be between the 4 and the 5, right?
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. But an interesting note about that you mentioned about Jet Wings One is that she faced older last time out. She was a 3 and up in the Independence Handicap. She's back against just strictly 3-year-olds. I think that's going to be a benefit to her because last time out she was game as can be. I'll run down the ages of what she faced last time out. The winner Black Friday, 6-year-old. Victoria Jess JQM, the third place finisher, 4-year-old. And then a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So she was the only 3-year-old in that race last time out. And she ran lights out when narrowly missing by a head. So I think getting back to just strictly 3-year-olds in this event, I think that's going to be to her benefit. And given that, it feels like the other main contenders like Otherworld, even famous Cartel Jess, Chance Now, their main asset is their leg kick. And on the flip side, Jet Wings 1, her main asset is her gate speed. So it feels like this could be the spot where she takes advantage of the sluggish starts from the others. She breaks on top and tries to take them all the way there. But I think getting back against 3-year-olds is definitely a plus for her.
And we're still on the Ramon Sanchez watch, Jose. Ramon,
yes.
1 stakes win away from tying Eddie Garcia for the all-time record of stakes wins here at Los Alamitos. So he's got number 6 Catella Avenue in this race. And then on Sunday, he'll have Mental Error in the Go Man Go handicap for trainer Paul Jones. So we can't forget Ramon Sanchez, a big storyline still here at Los Alamitos anytime we have a stakes race.
Yeah, and we saw there Scott Willoughby talking about his chances in the Go Man Go, the likes of Chocolatito and Nomadic. Circle City is going to have a little bit of a fresh in Orlando, but that's a great 1-2 punch to have heading into the Go Man Go with those 2 runners. And for more on Paul Jones' chances in the Go Man Go, here's Paul Jones in the morning.
And we're here with trainer Paul Jones, running on the Go Man Go handicap on Sunday night, Paul, and you have an outstanding contender, Mental Error. Horse has been right there in some of these Grade 1 races. Maybe this time it's his turn, huh?
Yeah, hopefully. When he doesn't have to run trials and finals, when we can run him fresh, he really runs well. He's won 2 small stake races for us this year, and we're just hoping for a good draw and a good spot. When he gets a good clean break, he really runs a strong race. So he's training really well coming into this race, and we're really happy to have him in there.
Do you think that's the key, is just for him to get the early lead just with a good break?
Yeah, when he gets a good break in a clean race, it kind of builds his heart up, and then he just goes on with it. He doesn't really like to run, in traffic or getting crowded or bumped. He usually doesn't run as strong. So if he can break on top, he'll run tough.
And it would be just so sweet to get a stakes win with Ramon Sanchez, as he's so close to becoming the all-time leader in stakes wins here at Los Sal.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be awesome if we can get that stakes win for Ramon to tie the record, I believe.
Yeah. Congratulations, Paul, and best of luck.
Thank you.
There's Paul Jones in the barn, Orlando. Kind of when we think of Ramon Sanchez and we think of Paul Jones, and we think of Paul Jones, we think of Ramon Sanchez. So these connections are still going strong with plenty of top contenders. And Mental Error has been a very consistent runner now in the last 5, 6, 7 starts for these connections. So he's definitely has a shot there in the Go Man Go.
I'll run down the horses that are going to be in the Go Man Go handicap.
All right.
I don't know the post position yet, but I can tell you the 10 horses that are in there. You Can Run, John Carter Cash, Cactel Cove, Apolitical Pence, Eagle Fly Higher, Redneck Ryan, Mental Error, Mr. Ricks, and then the 2 Scott Willoughby runners, Chocolatito and Nomadic. And there is an also eligible horse in there, Starbuck, in that grouping. So Circle City will not be running in the Go Man Go handicaps. He's going to leave it to the stablemates, Chocolatito and Nomadic, to carry the flag of the Rolling A Ranch there in this big race, the Go Man Go handicap, with a provisional berth to the Champion of Champions. If a space opens up, Go Man Go is the first alternate race for the Champion of Champions to get in.
And didn't last year's winner take that road through the Go Man Go?
Yeah, that was powerful favorite.
Yeah.
And most years, the winner of the Go Man Go handicap does find a way to get into the Champion of Champions, whether if it's a horse that wins multiple races with berths, or if a spot opens up because a horse doesn't come in. There's always a chance for that Go Man Go winner to get into the race. Now, the format for this year's Champion of Champions a little bit different. There is going to be a selection committee for horses out of state in order to for those horses to get into the Champion of Champions. They'll be invited in that fashion. So there is no direct berth for horses out of state to run in the Champion of Champions. So we'll see how that plays a role. But usually the Go Man Go winner is part of that big race, Champion of Champions night.
And given the quality field that you just mentioned off there, that's going to be a very nice 10-horse field there with plenty of good resumes to go forward in Sunday night's Go Man Go. We don't know the post position just yet, but we kind of know who's going to be able to be in the entry box for that race. Orlando, unless you have something else, it looks like a very nice preview show there with some nice sound bites. Now the pressure's on, Orlando. You got us some nice winners last week from the barn. Now the pressure's on. You got to come up with more winners from the barn this week.
That's right. We're gonna keep trying, Jose. That's all we can do. We're gonna go out there and knock on doors on some trainers. And fortunately, we have such a fantastic group of trainers here that are very welcoming and and just love to talk about their horses because they love their horses, Jose.
Yeah, and I want to go back to last week. We kind of said, you said 4 horses were going to be claimed. I said 5 in the claiming futurity, Orlando. What was the final tally?
You got 4. 4 horses. 4 horses.
I tip my hat to you, Orlando. I tip my hat to you.
There we go. Oh, official now. Yeah, we had 35 claim slips for the for those 4 horses. I think the highest one was, I want to say 14 claims on one of them.
Yes.
And the winner of that race was Jaime Gomez, Women's Secret. And representing Jaime in the winner's circle, Carlos Lopez. His horse got claimed. Women's Secrets got claimed. But Carlos Lopez won one of the claims. So it was like a little bit of a trade-off there. So he was lucky in the race, lucky in the claim box. He ended up with my favorite kind for himself, Carlos Lopez. So a fun race, a very successful first running of the claiming futurity here at Los Alamitos.
And based on the entry box and that format, I think this race is here to stay, Orlando. That was a very nice addition of the Los Alamitos claiming stakes there. As soon as the horses crossed the finish line, we saw maybe 100 people with invested connections going over towards the to where they were going to do the shakes there. So it was a very, very popular claim box that evening.
Yeah. Somebody I saw on Twitter, somebody said, is every trainer, 35 trainers at Los Alamitos, are they all there? No, you have to remember there's also some trainers can claim for more than one connection in there. So, a lot of different connections were very interested in one of the horses in that, in that race. So it was good to see. It was good to see the interest in quarter horses. And like you said, successful first event, a lot of interest gathered from that race.
Looking forward to this weekend's races. Saturday night we got the Sgt Pepper Feature, and on Sunday night the Go Man Go. Orlando, tell us what time are the approximate post signs for this weekend?
Well, I know Saturday, 7:35 p.m. Jose, okay. 10 races on tap, of course, headed by the Sgt Pepper Feature Handicap, and looking forward to Sunday night. We've been going a little bit earlier than Saturdays the past few weeks. And, of course, the big race, the Go Man Go Handicap with a terrific field of horses in that race. Some outstanding older horses here at Los Alamitos. Hope you join us here live at the races or watch us, of course, on TVG or our live stream at losalamitos.com.
Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Jose.